Not every horror story starts with a scream. Some begin with a quiet town, a cold night, and a door someone forgot to lock. This story is real. It happened in West Texas in the late 80s. I was just a kid, and I've never looked at a glass window the same way again. This was in the late 80s or early 90s. I was just a kid, 6 or 7 years old, living with my family in a small desert town in West Texas, the kind of place where everyone knows your face and probably your business too. Life was simple, quiet, safe, or at least that's what we believed. It was winter. In West Texas, that meant it got cold fast when the sun dipped low, real cold. That night, the sky outside had turned pitch black by 8 p.m. My parents had gone out, can't remember where, but they'd left me home with my sister. She was about 14 or 15 and regularly watched over me. We got along surprisingly well for siblings, probably because of the age gap. I looked up to her, and I always felt safe when she was around. Until that night. We were sitting together in the common room, our living room, really, but we called it the common room because it was at the center of everything. The kitchen was just down the hall, but most important, one wall of that room was made entirely of floor-to-ceiling windows with a big glass sliding door that opened up into the backyard. At night, with no porch light on, it was just blackness. You couldn't see a damn thing out there, just your own reflection staring back at you. The front of the house was more traditional, a heavy, solid wooden door with a glass storm door covering it. It opened into a little entryway right by the living room. So front and back, we were boxed in by doors and glass, and that night, we had forgotten to lock one of them. The two of us were curled up on the carpet with a blanket, watching one of those creepy true crime shows, 60 minutes or 48 hours, maybe hard copy. They all blurred together. The show was going on about a guy who had lived quietly next to his neighbors for years, and then one night snapped. Broke into their house, mutilated them in some unspeakable way, and kidnapped their young daughter. The worst part? They hadn't caught him. He was still out there. They called it an active manhunt. Now, I was a sensitive kid. Those shows hit me harder than they should have. But even then, I had a feeling tonight was different. Tonight wasn't just creepy TV vibes. About halfway into the program, just as they were showing pictures of the little girl, her face frozen in a school portrait, the kind that always makes your stomach drop, we heard it. Bam, bam, bam. The front door shook like it was going to come off its hinges. We both screamed. My sister grabbed me, and for a second, neither of us could move. Everything went dead silent. You could hear the wind howl through the gaps in the old window frames. The only light in the house was from the kitchen and the flickering blue glow of the TV. My heart was pounding like it was going to break through my ribs. We sat there for what felt like forever, telling ourselves it was just the wind. West Texas wind was no joke. It could throw furniture across a porch. Maybe something blew over. Maybe the rocking chair tipped. We were calming down kind of when we heard something that made my blood go ice cold. Click. The sound of the storm door on the outside closing slowly, not blowing shut, being closed. Someone had been out there, right against the front door, pounding with both hands. We looked at each other, wide-eyed. Neither of us said anything. You didn't have to. We both knew it. Then my sister, calm and silent, crawled over to the TV and switched it off. You had to turn the metal dial, which clicked loudly, thunk, as the screen snapped off and the whole room dimmed, the light vanishing like a candle blown out. Now it was nearly dark, except for the weak light from the kitchen. Shadows danced through the hallway like something was moving, like the house itself was breathing. I couldn't stop shaking. My sister crouched by the TV, staring at the front door, but something told me to turn around. I slowly twisted at the waist and looked over my shoulder at the back wall. The glass door, all windows. And I saw it. The back doorknob was turning. Not fast, slow, careful, deliberate, a test. Whoever was out there didn't want in with force. Not yet. They wanted to see what they could get away with first. And that door, it was locked on the knob, but not deadbolted. My sister forgot to deadbolt it earlier when we let the dog out. The knob twisted left, right. The metal clicked faintly. We stopped breathing. Then came the explosion. Bam, 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 bam! The whole wall of glass shook like it was going to cave in. The sliding door jerked wildly, the handle rattling so hard I thought it would snap off. Every window vibrated. My own reflection blurred and snapped back into focus with every heave. I could hear the panes groan under the pressure. Someone was trying to force their way in. My sister screamed, pure, unfiltered terror. I couldn't move. I was still kneeling on the floor, frozen. She didn't wait. She yanked me by the arm so hard I nearly hit my head on the coffee table as we scrambled to our feet. She dragged me down the hall into her bedroom, slammed the door shut, and started piling everything she could find in front of it. Her mattress, dresser drawers, clothes, her desk. It was a chaotic wall of furniture and fear. Then she dove under her bed, came back up with the old beige cordless phone, one of those heavy plastic bricks with the pull-out metal antenna. She was shaking so bad she couldn't dial the sheriff's number. Panic took over. She just hit redial. A friend picked up, some high school girl, and my sister started screaming into the phone, telling them someone was trying to get into our house to send help now, right fucking now. I remember that word, fucking, because I'd never heard her say it before. I'd never heard her that scared before. I curled into a ball on her carpet and cried silently. I couldn't stop shaking. We waited. Minutes felt like hours. Every noise outside made us flinch. The wind, a creak in the walls, a distant bark. Then, headlights. Blinding light flooded the windows. Tires on gravel, voices. Her friend's family had come. Fast. They banged on the front door, shouting our names. My sister pulled everything away, and we ran into their arms. They searched the yard, the porch, the house, but there was no one. No footprints, no obvious damage. Just a few faint scuff marks at the base of the back door, like someone had kicked at it, or maybe jammed a foot in the corner. We never found out who it was, or why. They never came back. But after that night, we never, ever forgot to lock a door. And every time I look out a glass window at night, I still wonder, what was staring back, just out of sight? We never found out who it was. We never saw them again. But after that night, we never forgot to lock a door. Thanks for listening. If you've ever had something unexplainable happen, tell your story in the comments. And if you're still up, there's more where that came from. Like, share, and subscribe. Just don't forget to check the locks first.